Hello, Stampers. Kelly Acheson at AStampAbove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. Today I have a card using a technique that's kind of new to me. It's called set back stamping. And this is the September blog hop for the Totally Techniques design team. All the members in the design team will be using this setback stamping technique for a variety of ideas with it. And don't you love when you learn one thing, but then you have a bunch of other ideas to go with it? I think that's the best of all worlds. At the end of the video, there's going to be a little link in the top right corner that's going to pop up. When you click on that, that's going to take you directly to the blog post associated with the card technique that I'm sharing with you today. And as you scroll down, there'll be pictures. I'll have the dimensions of the card that I'm making on there. And then there's going to be a hop along area where you're going to see little thumbnails of all the other people and their blog links that you can go to and see what each one of them made with this setback stamping technique. So without further delay, let's get started. I'm going to flip my camera around. Okay, today I'm just going to go through all the supplies that I'm using before we actually get to creating this card using the setback technique. I'm going to be featuring the Amber Autumn bundle. This is a fantastic bundle. There's some really beautiful dies in here. We've got some framelits to go with both of these images, a couple little extra elements, and then this fabulous die. I'm not going to be using this today, but what I am going to be using is the framelit that goes with, let's see if I can figure this out, that goes with the pumpkin and gourd and corn image. So we'll leave that out here. I have used this bundle on other cards, so if you want to check those out, you can go to my blog at www.AStampAbove.com and you'll find some other projects using this bundle. I'm also going to be using the Riverside Irregular Pearls. These are really pretty iridescent pearls. You've got white and kind of a little more white, a little more opaque, and then some blue, kind of like Lost Lagoon. Very pretty embellishments. I've got my linen thread. I'm going to be using the light pecan pie and the dark pretty peacock stamp and blend markers. Oh, and I'm going to be using the light pretty peacock too. So both of those with the light pecan pie. I've got my Wink of Stella here. We are going to be using the Memento Black ink pad and also Pretty in Pink ink pad. I chose to use the Floral Charm Designer Series paper. I went through all my Designer Series papers just looking for something that had either Lost Lagoon or Pretty Peacock in it. So this is the pattern that I chose to go with my cards color scheme. And then foam sheets. I got these foam sheets years ago. They've been in my storage closet, and I had to do a little searching to find them, but I was successful. These are 10 sheets, 8 by 12. I'm pretty sure I got them at one of the big craft stores, or you can order them on Amazon. This one happens to be a multi-pack of colors. And since we're going to be covering it up, the color isn't that important. But these are self-adhesive on the back. I know all of them aren't, and that wouldn't be a problem for this technique, whether you get self-adhesive or not self-adhesive. I chose to use the blue because it's a darker color on the edge. I don't want to see this bright white sticking out from under my edge. So I chose to use this blue, which I'm then going to color. The layers for my card today are Lost Lagoon for my card base, and you can find photos and also all the dimensions for my cards on my blog at www.AStampAbove.com. This is 5.5 by 8.5. I've already scored it here at 4 1/4. I'm going to use my bone folder to get a good crisp score line there. Then I've got a piece of basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4. 2 pieces of designer series paper. With this one, this is 1.5 by 5.5, and my leaves are going up. So if you use directional paper that matters, whether it's upside down or sideways, you want to pay attention to which way that's going when you cut it. And then I've got a piece for the inside that is going to go like this. And this one is 1.5 by 4. We're going to go ahead and get that inside piece done and put that right in our card so we don't have to keep track of this and possibly lose it as we start creating the rest of our card here. Or drop an ink pad in it. Who's done that? Me, multiple times. I think we've all been there, right? And then I've got a little bit sticking out here. I tend to cut these little strips a little bit longer because I just despise it when they're too short. And we'll add this right inside our card. I'm breaking one of my cardinal rules. You should not do this until you have finished stamping if you're going to stamp on your card base, but we're going to hope for the best. I may be restarting this video. Just saying. Okay, I've got Pretty in Pink ink here. And I know that this layer of designer series paper, I'm going to just open this up so I have a good flat surface, is going to go right about here. So I'm just going to use that, lay it down here. This is a dry fit so that I can hopefully get my sentiment stamped on here straight. And this one says, "Blessed to have you in my life." I thought that would be a good sentiment for this card because I can send that to just about anybody. Oh, that turned out really nice. And it's straight. So, whew, that was lucky, right? Okay. As I'm looking at my card, I actually did not use the Memento black ink pad. Instead, I used, I'm just grabbing a scrap of paper here. I used my Lost Lagoon for my technique. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. We're going to get this stamped and colored, and then we're going to move into those foam sheets. I've got this inked up good with my Memento. I'm going to stamp this on just a scrap of basic white cardstock. We're going to set that aside and let it dry just a little bit because we're going to put some Wink of Stella on it. And Wink of Stella with darker colors tends to bleed a little bit, which is okay, but I don't want it to bleed a lot when I use it. So this is my fun foam sheet, or just foam sheet. And this piece was 1.5 by 5.5. So I have cut this at just a little bit less than 1.5 and a little bit less than 5.5. And I am going to go ahead and peel the backing off of this. And we're going to add this to the back of our designer series paper. And it can be a little forgiving at first, but then it will definitely stick in place. So don't worry about that. But if you happen to need to readjust it, you can. Just want to make sure that that's, yep, that looks pretty good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, I think what I'll do is I'll die cut this piece right here. And I'm going to just grab a little piece of temporary tape. And I like to put this on and off my shirt or my pants several times so that it's not too sticky. You could use washi tape. You could use a Post-it note, works just fine. And we're going to get this lined up just right. And then emboss or die cut that with the embossing machine. So I'll bring that in here. And I'm going to throw this right on here. Make sure that that doesn't slip. You definitely want this to be, to keep your die in place. And here comes that pretty little image. And then what I'm going to do because I'm going to do another dry fit here. So I know that I want my pumpkin and gourd image right about here. And then again, make sure if you have a direction, that your paper is going the right way when you do this part. So I think what I'll do is I will set this right about here. And again, I'm just dry fitting, and I'm going to bring in my die right about here. And then we're going to tape this in place so it doesn't move. Now I've got that fun foam on the back, and our dies will cut. Oops, let me set this way. I'm a little bit better with my right hand than my left. I'm going to set this right back in my machine, and I'm going to die cut it. Now, one of the things when you're using the foam sheets is after you die cut, you might find that your piece is a little bit distorted because it just got smashed. And if you leave it sit for a few minutes, it will perk back up and go back into the shape that you intended it to be in. Let's see if I can get this off. There we go. The tape is still a little sticky because I grabbed a new piece. The more you use these, the less adhesive they get, which is kind of a good thing. So you see how it's kind of distorted here? Just give it a little bit. It'll pop back up. The foam is pretty smashed, but it'll regain its shape. Okay. Now, while we're waiting for that to happen, I'm going to go ahead and color my pumpkins. And I decided I didn't want to get too crazy with the coloring. I wanted to keep this nice and short. So I'm going to color the stems on my pumpkin with the light pecan pie. And then come in with my light and my dark Pretty Peacock. Did I use Pretty Peacock? I don't think I did. You know what? I bet you I used Lost Lagoon on here. So just hang on. Let me find that. Yep. I was wrong. Lost Lagoon. We're going to go with dark Lost Lagoon first. And I'm just going to come in here and color over those little hash marks that Stampin' Up! Gives us, where there should be shading on an image with this kind of detail. Maybe a little bit there. And then the light one I'll bring in and blend out the dark marks so I look like an amazing artist. And that's just how easy these alcohol markers work. These are called Stampin' Blends. Absolutely love them. They really do give your project an artistic look. Okay, now remember, I said that I wanted to keep this very simple. So that's all the coloring I'm going to do here. I made another card with this same color scheme as far as the Pretty Peacock and the Lost Lagoon and the white pumpkins. That was really pretty. I'm going to add a little bit more Wink of Stella into my barrel. Oh, maybe this one is getting kind of empty. Don't ever do that over your project, because if you squeeze it too hard, it'll drop out. You'll get a big drop coming out. I just wanted these pumpkins to look kind of magical in this little pumpkin patch, and I thought this was a great way to do it. And then you can tip it in the light. You can see how pretty that glimmer is on there. Okay. Now I'm going to come in with my card, and I'm going to bring this back in here. I'm just going to, again, do a dry fit before I start gluing anything together. Just want to make sure that I have everything in place here. And then the one thing, excuse me, I hope I'm not getting sick. The one thing that I want to make sure is that this line at the bottom of this layer is straight, and it does appear to be straight here. So I'm going to go ahead and add some multi-purpose, liquid glue. Oh, before I do that, darn it. If you have any of these blue edges showing, when this card gets tipped sideways, I don't want to see that blue. This is the reason why I use the dark foam sheet. It's because this is going to be easier to color than white. And of course, you would gear that towards whatever color of card you're making. But look at how nice that looks now. Quite the difference, right? I don't have to color any of the other edges on here because I recessed them, meaning that I cut that fun foam just a little bit smaller than my 1.5 by 5.5 inch designer paper layer. And that looks really good too. Okay. Now, oh, look at, I forgot I had glue on here. We'll get that off in a second. No big deal. Put a little bit of glue on here. And just going to make sure that edge is right up where it needs to be. That should that should ensure that this is straight across the bottom. And I'm going to kind of come in here with my pumpkin and get that down in here. And then this last little piece. Oh, I didn't color that. I thought I did. Oh, I colored the wrong one, you guys. This is the inside. Good grief. Were you laughing at me while I was doing that? Like, what piece is that, Kelly? Well, it's good to know we covered all of our bases, right? And again, it's nice to have these Stampin' Blend markers and the matching colors to be able to do this. And maybe that blue wouldn't bother you. That would be okay too. But it's kind of an odd color with this card, right? Okay, now, again, I'm going to make sure that I've got this lined up good. So I can put this in place and it goes all the way to the edge. And again, looks like a nice straight line across there. And I think I have done that rather well. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here. Now the original way, excuse me again, the original way that I saw this done was where you stamp your image right on your card base, and then you color it in. Now I could have done that by putting another layer on the front, but you can't color with Stampin' Blend markers without bleeding through, and I didn't want to bleed through here. So there would have been several different ways to do that. Plus I wanted a Lost Lagoon card base, and I needed my pumpkins to be on white. So if you don't want to do this die cut part, you could use a white card base, stamp your image right on there, put your foam sheet across here, and then again, add your die in where you see your image stamped in the background on your card base and cut that out and do the same thing that I've just done here. I just thought I really liked that pop of white. I thought it was very cool. The other thing that I wanted to do was add some baker's twine, and I think that I will do maybe a double bow here. That may not be long enough. So I would cut 2 pieces. I'm just leaving this attached so that I can wait and see if I have enough thread here before I cut anything to do the bow that I want to do. And it looks like I do not. Make that a little bit longer. This is what I've got here. Yeah, I sure seem to be having trouble with this, but losing my voice. I don't know what's up with that. My daughter was over yesterday and she was coughing like crazy. She was sick last week, said she felt fine. She just had this nasty cough now. I hope that's not going around, right? I think I'll put that right in there with the mini glue dot. Take your pick tool. I like to use this as like an extension of my hand. I've kind of rolled that mini glue dot up because I don't want to see it coming out from behind my bow here. So I just kind of roll it up a little bit. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Now I said I would take care of these glue spots that I messed up a little bit, and that did it. Little rubber eraser. I have these available in my sticky kit that you can pop me an email and I'll give you information on that if you need one of those and you're in the United States. I can't ship stuff outside the country, but I can ship in the US. Sticky kits have all the adhesive in them. It's got several different kinds, sizes of dimensionals, liquid glue, tear and tape, 2 different erasers, one a sand eraser for ink smudges, and the other one is that rubber eraser. Wow, look at how pretty that is with these beautiful Riverside irregular pearls. What a fantastic card. So this is set back stamping. And then I took a piece of that designer paper and I added it to my envelope flap. So I have this gorgeous set ready to go out in the mail at a moment's notice to let somebody know that I am blessed to have them in my life. The other card that I made is this one. And this uses the exact same stamp set with a different image. Super pretty. And again, set back stamping. And I did die cut this image and set it in there because, again, I didn't want the mess. Whoa. On the inside. Look at how pretty this is. I'm going to be featuring this in my Sunday night live. That will be Sunday, September 28th. I'll be making this card for everybody with the set back technique. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure that you subscribe to my, it might be down here. It's in the bottom right corner. Sometimes I'm backwards on my screen. Bottom right corner, there's a little subscribe button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You don't want to miss anything that I have coming out. Don't forget that this is a blog hop, and you definitely want to hop along so that you can see all the other cards that are made with this set back stamping technique. I think it's very cool. I really do like it. And if you are without a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, I'd love to earn your business. I would be happy to send you our latest catalog. This is a mini catalog, absolutely beautiful. That's where I got the Amber Autumn bundle out of. It's part of a really big suite. And pop me an email. You can email me at kelly@AStampAbove.com. And I am looking for that. Whoops, there it goes. kelly@AStampAbove.com. And I would be happy to send you a catalog. Don't forget to include your address. And as always, if you have any questions, if you have any problems with this and you need a little bit of help, feel free to email me. I'm always willing to help you out and help you problem solve or just answer some questions. Thanks so much for joining me today for this video. And don't forget to click in the top corner. That's going to take you over to my blog. You're going to find this project on there, a picture of the other one I'll share. And again, on Sunday night, I will be showing how I made that card and all the coloring techniques I used on the beautiful oak leaves. And click up here. That'll take you right to this blog post where you're going to find all the good details. There's an ingredient list there with all the products I use. And I always appreciate you shopping with me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.